Hi there, and thanks for joining me. I'm going to spend a few minutes talking to you about developing personal brand, and it's quite important, isn't it? The way we see ourselves helps with the manner in which we sell ourselves, and they may sound quite pejorative terms, selling ourselves, but they're increasingly important in today's job market, and also how we carry ourselves forward. And to bear in mind that brand maintenance is absolutely critical. This idea of consistency and authenticity seems to matter an awful lot. So let's go a little bit further and see what that means. And we can take a look here. Recognise any of those? And as you're looking at them, just what do they mean to you? You might want at this stage just to jot a couple of notes down. What does each of those brands mean to you? Pause it and do that if you'd like to. Let's move on and take a look at. And again, what do they mean to you? Are you familiar with them? And as we look at this, let's bear in mind that brand can shift from okay to not okay, from okay and trustworthy to, well, possibly okay but a little bit suspect. It can shift. And three others, and you might need to go a little bit deep on a couple of these, that's all right. But again, think about what it means to you, because they will mean different things to different people. And there might be a couple there that you don't recognise. See if you can find out. Google Images, I'll just give you a little hint on that. All right. Well, the way we look and the way we present ourselves is hugely important. And if you look sad, angry, doubtful, fearful, that's how you're going to be perceived. And we can do something about changing that, but we have to first recognise that it needs changing. And as a side note, I'm just going to leave this with you. There's nothing as disconcerting as being scowled at by a baby. There we are. Okay, so here's me in my glory days, cool biker image. And the cool biker image in the west of Ireland can be, as he was, destroyed by one of these. The wasp gets under the crash helmet and starts to sting the side of your face, and as you can see, that's a full face crash helmet, and it takes a bit of getting off, and that's exactly what happened. So insects that fly and are that colour have actually got a pretty poor brand image with me, and I'm sure you can understand why. Well, here's the unluckiest fly in the world, in that it just looks like a wasp. And I'm sure at one stage in evolution that was a really good thing to do, and things would leave it alone. However, because it looks like one, people assume that it is one. And because they see a wasp, they treat it like one. And they hit it. And they hit it with rolled up newspapers, or they spray chemicals over it. Nobody checks to see that it was actually a wasp. It actually looked like a wasp, so that will do. So the brand image of that fly has actually caused it quite a bit of damage, in fact, terminal. Okay, you can actually be the hero of your own story, your own narrative, and let's see what we can do here. I think we need to adopt that we can change the attitude, we can get stuff right, and that means starting somewhere and thinking about quite carefully which aspects of you do you want to project. Well, if we take a look at our strengths, what are we actually good at? What do we think we're good at? For me now, if you could just jot down 5 of them, what you think your top 5 are, and put that on pause, that's fine. And don't take too long about it, but your top 5 strengths you think you're good at. So it could be that you think you're honest, it could be that you think you're funny, you have a good sense of humour, it could be that you're loyal, it could be that you're dedicated. I'll leave those with you for a few minutes. Use pause. Okay, so choose one of that 5, and if it was an animal, what would it be? Stay away from wasps, just for a hint. Having thought about that, move on to another. If it were a colour, what colour would that strength be? Would it be a red strength, a very dominant strength? Have a think about that and write it down. One more for you to think about. If your strength was a sound, what would it sound like? Would it sound like a track of music that you know and understand? that's particularly meaningful to you? Or would it be a noise maybe of a crowd cheering? Do you think about it? It's yours to choose from. And when we think about what it looks like, what it sounds like, how it could be articulated as an animal, as an image, we can start to really sort of enter our strengths and think about, okay, that's going to help me define how I'm going to use it, how I'm going to develop it. All right. Quite important that we maintain our brand. And our brand's really important. My belief is that as we move forward in life, you're never a juster. You're never just working in hospitality. You're never just a taxi driver. You're never just at a check-in. That's actually something that is a passport to meeting people. And if you've got your brand right, people will want to meet you. And you never know that day that somebody will pass you a business card and say, I really like your attitude. Give me a ring, will you? You never know that day that somebody will come across to you and say, do you know what, I really like the way you handle that conversation. Let's have a talk about that. So there we are. How to build your personal brand in a very simple 6.5 minute clip. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.